All right. So there's a lot of people who are assholes. A lot of them. Alycia Bollinger, she has jealousy issues, severe jealousy issues. Between her and Natalie, Alycia was the popular one, where Natalie would post up a selfie and get a couple of hundred likes. Alycia would post up a selfie and get 1,000, but she was always jealous of Natalie. You can see that in Alycia Bollinger's playlist here on YouTube. You can also see how Natalie felt. There's a playlist on Natalie Bollinger's YouTube called For Tim. Tim didn't make her feel very good. There's also a few songs in there about the things that Natalie went through with her dad. Those songs speak volumes about that son of a bitch. Alycia Bollinger has court um, coming up in February. Now, I know I often say I hope she ends up in prison, but the fact is, I want her to tell the truth. If she doesn't tell the truth, yeah, I want her to go to prison. Her playing victim, her being jealous of her sister, resulted in a lot of really fucked up shit going on. When I was in Virginia, Alycia made it pretty obvious that she wanted the attention. She wanted to hang out with me. Every day at lunchtime, she would invite me over because she worked at the cricket store and I was hanging out at the Starbucks where her boyfriend worked, just 2 doors down. Every time she went out on a cigarette break, she would let me know so I could come have a cigarette with her. It was her idea for me to stay behind where she worked. We had a lot of conversations while I was there. The thing is, I wasn't there to feed Alycia Bollinger attention for attention's sake. I was there because I promised Natalie that I would. I was there because Natalie was suicidal over her family, her dad, her mother, and her sister. She wanted to have a one on one conversation with me. And on my Facebook, I have posted so many of those. It's got the time and the date that they were sent from Miss Natalie. If somebody is stalking you, why are you going to tell them that you want to have a one on one conversation with them? Why? But Alicia couldn't handle that. I was there because I didn't want Natalie Bollinger to fucking kill herself. But Alicia didn't care. She had to have the attention. And when she realized that I wasn't there to give Alycia Bollinger specifically that attention, she had a lot of really mean things to say. It's not my fault. That wasn't my choice. Natalie used to joke about how people think she's the evil one. No, Alycia is evil. Only an evil person would do this. All of these things that people did to me, they did to me because Alycia Bollinger specifically lied in Chesapeake, Virginia. Now, a lot of you guys are like, no, it's because of the way you act. It's because you did this and because you did that. Why do you think I did those things? I hate violence. I didn't want to be drugged or assaulted. I didn't want people spitting on me anymore or knocking my phone out of my hand. I didn't want to be abused for something that I didn't fucking do. I want Alicia Bollinger to have a decent life. But if she can't turn around and be a decent person, there is no reason for her to be out destroying more lives. Maddie Boa, when she started spreading those rumors, I wasn't the first person that she did that to. She started spreading those rumors about a guy named Brian Townsend. Brian Townsend was one of my key witnesses. He was one of the people who helped me out the most immediately following Natalie's death. But he was homeless too. He knew what I was going through. And you know what he got? You know what he got for helping me? He got smacked in the head with a fucking flashlight by an officer who pretended like he thought that Brian was his brother Clyde. Brian and Clyde don't look a thing alike. The only thing that they have in common is the color of their skin. And even that's different. Clyde is darker. Clyde is taller. Clyde has different facial features. Clyde dresses differently. Brian Townsend has memory issues because he got smacked in the head with a fucking flashlight by Longmont police. That's not okay. Now, don't get me wrong, we got to see how corrupt law enforcement is in Colorado as a result of this, and how corrupt the medical system there in Colorado is because of what Alycia did. But the thing is, my reactions to the abuse that I was enduring are human reactions. But also, that is reinforced and proven by the way other people reacted. The very same people who are telling me that I need to act this way and I need to act that way. They threw fucking tantrums like a motherfucker when shit happened to them once. They immediately jumped to being assholes. I didn't. With Natalie and Alycia Bollinger and Maddie Boa, I tried being nice to begin with. Instead of jumping to being an asshole, instead of saying, hey, I hope this happens and I hope that happens, and F you and all this, that, and the other. Whereas these people who were mad at me jumped to those doing those things immediately. I didn't. I followed the proper protocol. First thing you need to do is go to your bully. If that doesn't work, you go to an authority figure. If that doesn't work, you walk in pairs. You go to your friends for help. Well, that didn't work because I'm not popular or pretty. I get that. But I also understand the truth of it. Whereas if it's not what you want to hear, no matter how much evidence there is that proves that I'm telling the truth, if it's not what you want to hear, you're going to get on here and you're going to talk shit. You're going to hit the dislike button. You're not even going to watch the video. You're going to go, oh, Sean made a video, dislike, dislike, dislike. And there are people who do that. There are times where I'll make a video. It'll tell me that it was downloaded 30 seconds ago. And I'll go to watch the video and make sure the sound came out all right. And I notice that there's a dislike on it already. Well, it's only been posted for 30 seconds. You haven't even heard what the video is about. and you're already disliking it. The fact is, all of the issues that I had in Virginia, well, they were human issues. The issues that me and Natalie had, all of our issues while I was in Virginia, up until the day after my birthday, 2 days after my birthday, sorry, all of the issues that Natalie and I had were Alicia's issues. Had nothing to do with Natalie or I. The things that Natalie typed on that last public post, try to make it seem like I was a stalker. She didn't bother typing on there that those were Alicia's idea, now did she? She knew they were Alicia's idea. She outright lied on those. She said that I stayed behind her work for weeks. No, I didn't. By the time I got to Virginia, Natalie had lost her job there because she got into that car accident where she tried to kill herself. She had lost that job. She no longer worked there, but they wanted to play victim. Now, when you work with people who are addicts, you have to worry about those kind of things. Just like when you work with children, you have to worry about a parent having a bad day or having a problem with your teaching method or your counseling method and start spreading rumors. If you kick a kid out of your class because that kid is being unruly and inappropriate, you run the risk of that child saying, hey, he did this to me or he did that to me. And if you don't think that's true, I'm going to tell you something. When I was a kid, I was in Centennial Peaks Hospital. I didn't like my stepdad, Scott, and although he and my mom weren't married yet, that didn't matter. I didn't like Scott for a reason, but that didn't give me a right to lie. But I did lie. I lied and I said that Scott molested me, and he didn't. And our relationship has not existed since then. He has been an asshole to me since I was 6 years old. And then we got the situation with Amy Kingery's kids, who outright lied because they wanted sugared drinks. They didn't want to eat healthy food. They outright lied to people in that trailer court and said that Rihanna Ingersoll was not feeding them. Oh, that is not true. There was a couple of points there where me and Rihanna were afraid to eat anything. We had to be afraid to eat anything because the kids were going to eat it all. And these aren't little kids. These kids aren't anorexic by any measure. They tried telling us that their mom didn't feed them and their mom's boyfriend Josh didn't feed them. Really, you didn't show up anorexic either. You were being fed before you showed up at Rihanna's. When it comes to Alycia Bollinger, I really do want her in prison. She's a pretty white girl, so she's more likely to get probation or rehab. But rehab's not going to help her. She knows the system. She knows how to jump through the hoops. She'll go right back to doing the whole manipulative bullshit that she pulled in Virginia and that she and Matty Boa pulled afterwards. That's not what you do to a human being. Of course, after dealing with the rest of the family, Ted Bollinger, Rose Kelly, Danica Garner, Shelley Campbell, I know where Alycia learned those things. Just like my dad learned that he is always right no matter what, and that it's okay to be condescending and screaming, just like my dad learned that from his dad. Alycia Bollinger learned that from the people in her life. She learned how to be manipulative, how to manipulate to hide her own wrongdoing. When you work with people who are addicts, you have to run that same risk. When you work with people who are alcoholics, you run that same risk. They might go on a drug binge. They might get busted doing drugs. They might not want to turn in their dealer. So they might blame it on you. My little brother did that. My little brother was getting his marijuana from Lanny Engeline, but he was getting his cigarettes from Jeff Luchterhoose. When Michael got busted stealing an M&M CD, my mom would let Michael get away with murder. She literally helped him to get away with being a child molester. So, if that tells you anything about my mom. When my little brother got busted with a pack of Marlboro Reds that he got from Jeff Luchterhoose, he blamed it on me, and my mom wanted to press charges. He got busted with those Marlboro Reds because he was in Colorado stealing an M&M CD. And who did my mom blame stealing that M&M CD on? Drake Chambers. Yeah, sure, Drake Chambers fucked his own sister, but Michael stole that CD, not Drake. When you're dealing with addicts, they are unpredictable, and Alycia is an addict. To this day, she is still an addict. What's her attachment to her dad? Access to drugs. Prison will prevent her from getting drugs. A lot more than being out will, anyway. Prison will prevent Ted Bollinger from having access to her or any of the other predators in Alycia's life. At least while she's in prison, she can think about the things that she did, how her lies affected other people and got her sister killed, got an innocent man assaulted repeatedly. She worked together with the asshole who fucking raped her and her sister. That conversation with Bobby Forrest, yeah. What Bobby had to say, Ted had been doing that since they were 9. 9 years old. Ted had his daughters selling drugs in Boulder, Colorado when they were 13. He was getting drunk and beating on them. He was molesting his own daughters. Yes, I feel bad for Alycia. I do. But she doesn't. She doesn't feel the least bit bad about the terrible things that people did because she didn't tell the truth. I didn't want to break the law. But if it saves lives, goddamn right, I'll commit felonies like a motherfucker. Kiss my ass.